What's up, Internet World? We're News 19 Nerds. I'm Michael.
I'm Leroy.
Yeah, there we go. So the way you have it set up is I'm over your shoulder.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
I was trying to set up where I was in the middle of the stormtrooper, but so he was like over my shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and then other stuff started happening. I got distracted.
Okay, cool. Whatever. Yeah, so I mean, we're here for another press play as we slowly get people in since we didn't really advertise this. You know how we do. We don't do things professionally around here.
You mean you didn't
Why would we do
advertise
that?
this?
You could have advertised.
I was busy.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
You were.
Sir, we have a hurricane.
We don't have a hurricane because it's not hitting us yet.
You don't know that.
I mean, the forecast say it hasn't hit us yet.
Whose forecast?
Our forecast.
Which one?
Want straighter teeth?
Why is this still
Put
got noise? Stuff is not working for me today.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, I'm back. All right. What just happened? I don't know.
Nothing happened yet.
Oh,
we haven't
okay.
talked about what topics. I basically just kind of stalled on time since I was saying, since we didn't advertise this one, as you sweat
Again.
kind of hard. What's going on?
You didn't advertise, sir. You didn't advertise. That's your job.
I mean, your job was supposed to be Instagram.
No.
Yes, it definitely was. Mine was Twitter. I
Did
used
you-
to
did
go
you-
for Instagram.
did-
It stopped.
I went on maternity leave.
Before that, you had stopped really doing Instagram stuff.
No. We
Yes.
got busy.
Sure.
Columbia was on
That's fine.
fire. I mean, literally on fire.
I'm talking about before all this happened, you had started really doing Instagram stuff.
Nah, we were doing work. I got behind. Like, do you not remember what happened before I went on maternity leave?
I mean, it sounded like excuses to the fans.
It sounds like you weren't there for me as I was dealing with struggles at work and you left me here in this building. That's what it sounds like.
How did I leave you?
You left me struggling in this building.
You went
No.
on maternity leave.
You left me struggling in this building. And you know how it felt for those weeks I was gone too, didn't you?
You mean months?
Don't exaggerate. It wasn't months.
Okay, month?
It was a month and a week.
Okay, there we go. Yeah,
So,
great.
yeah.
What are we talking about tonight?
I sent you the topics, man. Stop acting brand new.
Yeah, I'm saying that so you can tell the audience what we're talking about.
Look, man, I'm tired. All right? I done had a long week.
You keep wiping your head like some old man at a church.
Because I'm tired, man.
I know it's just weird to see it from this angle to see you wipe because I can't never really watch it. I'm seeing it on the camera. You wiping your forehead is.
I'm
is something
tired.
else. Mm-hmm.
They had me working today. And just to let you know, someday next week you have to take me home because AC just went out my car. So,
Okay, cool. Good to know.
I'm having struggles, man.
Okay, that is what it is.
So,
We're talking about.
it's 102 degrees and I ain't got no AC.
I don't think it's that high. But to be fair, I've been in air conditioning for this whole week. It's been nice being off. It's been great.
So that's what we doing? That's what we doing? Okay.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we're talking about some movie theater deals and some Emmy nominations.
Yes.
The awesomeness of the Emmys, maybe, possibly.
Possibly.
I feel good, but I also have like a little asterisk next to it for the Emmy. So yeah.
You tell me what the asterisk is, and then I'll
I mean, where are we starting?
start with the movie deal, because you called it. The
did I call?
AMC. That's why I put this story in here, man.
See, I prognosticate a lot of stuff, and it just always comes true. So I can't.
No,
remember
it
what
doesn't.
exactly
No, it
I
doesn't.
said
No, it doesn't.
This time.
No, it doesn't. That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie.
Hey, where that cyberpunk at?
You got one.
I got more than one.
New Mutants.
I've had
New Mutants.
several Chick-fil-A bets from you.
No, you've only had two.
Ooh,
And
I got more than
hold on.
one.
You've had two, and I've had two.
Nope.
New Mutants is me.
New Mutants, that's not true yet. 'Cause
Yes, it
that's
is.
supposed to come out this-
I told you New Mutants
that's
wasn't
supposed to
coming
come
out.
soon.
No, I told you New Mutants wasn't coming out.
So when it does come out, that means you lost it?
No. Because we had a bet that
You said it's not coming out.
I
When
said it
comes out
wasn't.
to theaters,
Hold on. I said it wasn't coming out when the release date was. I told you that New Mutants was not coming out on that release date, and you were like, "Yes,
yeah,
it
but
is."
you've also pushed it to say it's never coming to theaters.
I don't think it's coming to theaters.
All right.
I don't think it is.
Fair.
I was right about the movies moving off their release date.
I mean, did anybody say they weren't going to do that?
You did. That's how you lost the Chick-fil-A bet. We're tied up.
What are you talking about?
Chick-fil-A bets. We're tied up. We're 2-2.
I don't ever remember. Why would I have said the movies weren't going to move?
See how he does me, guys? See how he does me? We go write down these bets. We go write down these bets. Anyway, I was saying, I was giving you the benefit of doubt because we talked about this on a press play. Now you acting brand new, trying to shame me, that you had predicted that there was going to be a deal between AMC and Universal.
Yeah.
Now go ahead and tell us what this deal is between AMC and Universal after you had
I don't know what
previously.
the deal is. Hey man, let me tell you what I did on my week off. I've been living that island life, okay? I got Animal Crossing for my birthday. It is fun. It is great. So, yeah. No, the deal is what? They cut the amount of time that the theatrical run is going to happen. Normally it was like 2 months and some change, and now it's going to be about 3 weeks before it goes to VOD.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I don't know the specifics of like the profit sharing. I know they're supposed to share in the profits once it goes to VOD, but I don't know how it splits between the theater chain and the movie studio.
Correct.
Yeah.
So far, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, the only deal like this so far.
I believe so, yeah, between AMC and Universal.
Yeah.
Now, I think what is funny is that those two are playing nice when before those were the ones who were kind of had that whole beef over Trolls World Tour when AMC was like, oh, so you're going to release this VOD.
Yeah.
We're not giving you anything anymore. We're not going to show any of your Universal movies.
Yes.
Which is wild.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Now I remember this conversation. It's coming back to me now.
Okay, Celine Dion.
I was like, well, you know, you say a lot of stuff, man. We both say a lot of stuff. We can't remember it all.
I do.
But I remember the gist of the conversation, like, oh, this is what's going to happen. They're going to work on a deal. Okay, I remember this. Yeah, I'm a genius. Keep going.
You finished?
Yeah.
Got it all out? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm okay with. I like this idea of movies coming to VOD sooner, especially if that means I can buy them sooner. I'm still not a fan of a movie coming to VOD and it being $20 or so to not own, when you can buy it for about the same price in a few months. I think that's crazy. I mean, I get why they have to do it because they're kind of simulating the price of what you would do if you were to buy a movie ticket and popcorn and drinks and stuff. I kind of get that. I don't know what the answer is. I wish it was something else though.
See, I guess I disagree a little bit about that. I don't mind it being $20 for 48 hours because if you look at there's no guarantee it's just one person watching it for $20. So if you're a family of 5 and let's say Scooby-Doo was $20, everybody got to see that movie for $20. Where if you went to the movie theater, all 5 of you would have to pay about $12 each. Oh, wait, hold on. What is it now? Is it? It depends on where you are. If you're
movie theaters have been closed for so long, I don't know what the price of a movie ticket is.
It depends on where you are. I know, like
to other parts of the country.
Yes, like if you go to a matinee, like on a Tuesday or a Saturday or Sunday at AMC, it's what, $5 or $6. If you go,
that was the big thing here in Columbia was AMC's Tuesdays. You get $5 matinees. I don't know if that's going to exist when they open back up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like if a movie ticket on its own, let's say roughly, let's do a median of $15. That's $15 per ticket, and you only get to see that one time. Versus $20 if you rent it on VOD.
What just happened?
Huh? What I'm saying is,
you do?
What?
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. That's you.
That's weird.
I'm not doing anything, man. I'm not touching anything.
I don't know. It says we're recording. I don't know why it says we're recording.
I don't know why either. That's on you, man.
That's not on me. I wasn't touching anything.
I'm not touching anything.
I don't know.
My hands are here.
I mean, it just proves we need a director to do this for us. That's all it proves. Adam, I guess it proves Anakin, we need you.
No.
Yeah, that's what it means.
I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, that'd just be a third sorry person in this bunch. I said it. I don't take it back. Think about it. If it's $20 for you to watch it at home, you got 48 hours. You can watch it repeatedly, however many times you want within that 48-hour window. Versus if you have to pay $15 each time you go to see that movie at the movie theater. Then you got to think of parking, snacks, time out of your day to get there. I mean, that $20 is a convenience fee pretty much. And again, it's however many people watch it. So if it's in my house, it's me, the wife, and the baby and the dog. I don't think I'd have to pay.
That's two people.
That's what I'm saying. That's two people. But what I'm saying is, when he gets older, that's a third movie ticket.
Yeah.
And so that's that's like $45 just for three people to go see a movie that we're only going to see one time versus at $20 a rip, I can watch that as many times as I want. I don't know what the answer is, but I do like the idea of the $20 price. The problem I have is how is this going to affect other studios and other theaters?
And I think another thing that this deal sounds great, but we still haven't seen it in practice yet, right? Because theaters still aren't open, and like the big movie that we were waiting on was Tenet. That's supposed to be the next big movie to do things, which has been delayed indefinitely now.
Delayed for us, U.S. release. There's a worldwide release for everybody else, because everybody else seems to get their act together.
Right. True. So yeah, I don't know what the next big Universal movie is where this deal is gonna go into effect.
Rayshawn K asked, "Will this mean they will release the Blu-ray earlier?" Also, I don't know.
In my mind, I would think so, because everything else has been moved up. I would think it would move it up, but I don't know for sure.
I guess my question is, and I want to say, Zaylon Maru says deal is kind of sketchy. Could go after 17 days, but if the movie is doing well in theaters, it may not. That's a good point, and the point that these people are bringing up is, does this move up the release date for your Blu-ray DVD release? What happens if the movie is doing well? Most movies make a bulk of their money in that first month anyway. I guess the question is this a deal for right now? Let's make this deal for right now, or is this a deal that's going to stay in place? Kind of like with how like NBC and DirecTV make a deal for X amount of time, and then they renegotiate it, and they go back and forth, and then you see those ads. NBC could leave DirecTV because they're jerks, and then DirecTV's like, no, they're jerks. They don't. Is it just for right now? Because let's be honest, once we get through this pandemic and things trend back to a sense of normalcy, people are going to go to the movie theaters. So are we going to start seeing a higher attendance in movie theaters because it's the things people want to do? Or is this how things are going to be? People are still going to be leery and wary of going back. Like, I would like to know, I would like somebody who watches human behavior to tell us what could happen or what possibly could happen in the future. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was going back through stuff, kind of. IMAX said, y'all sound like a married couple. Ha! Wonderful. I'm just going back through people's comments.
Yeah.
My birthday was July 28th. Somebody asked when my birthday was. IMAX again asking that question. Yeah. Michael not phased that Leroy is tired. Yeah, I don't cut him no slack. I keep him strong. I keep him hungry.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it is. That's why? Because you're gonna be Kevin Frazier 2.0. Remember that. Let's see. Yeah. A Jordan Peele movie. It'll be interesting to see. Again, we need to know what that Universal movie is going to be to see this deal actually come through, because it all sounds good on paper until we actually see it in the practice. I didn't, for South Carolina, McMaster say movie theaters would be open like the first week of August or something?
Yeah.
When their press conference?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to, so I don't know what they are in other states around the nation, but for South Carolina, movie theaters are supposed to be open maybe August 6th or something like that. And I don't know what's going to be in theaters. I do think it's interesting that the highest grossing movie this year is still Bad Boys for Life. That's wild.
Told you. Y'all doubted Bad Boys. Y'all doubted Will Smith.
Yeah, but it's not for the reason. Because the pandemic, we weren't talking about the pandemic when Bad Boys for Life came out.
True, but Bad Boys for Life.
It's not like we were going to be like, oh yeah, Bad Boys is going to beat Black Widow. Bad Boys is going to.
I didn't say that. All I was saying was I knew Bad Boys 3 was going to be good. I knew it was going to return to form. I didn't realize it was going to be that good, but I knew it was going to be good.
We don't know that it is that good.
It
had help from a pandemic.
No, it didn't. Bad Boys was a January release. The first reported COVID test here in America was January the 24th.
Right, but what I'm saying is,
and
movies kept getting delayed. Like, for example, Mulan never came out from its March date or whatever. All these big movies that were supposed to come out never came out.
True, but this is the thing. The difference between that is, and what happened with Bad Boys is, Bad Boys for Life came out in January. And a lot of people were scared because January is a month where a lot of movie theaters dump their movies. Mm-hmm. The United States didn't take the pandemic seriously until after the Democratic primary in February. Because remember, we were here at work, and it wasn't until those first couple of weeks in March when Rudy Gobert tested positive, and then the NBA shut down. And then that's when everybody started taking it seriously. The shutdowns didn't start happening until March. Bad Boys for Life was trucking along. The last movie...
What I'm saying is, it hasn't had any competition past March.
True. I'm not saying that...
So like Mulan, money that could have come from Mulan, nope. You can still go see whatever. All these other movies... Trolls War Tour. Nope.
Hey, that's their fault. They had release dates in March. They could have released in January and been like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Bloodshot still came out.
And?
No, what I'm saying is you're right. They could have done like Bloodshot. Like that still came out.
Yep.
They didn't drop that release date, so yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
And they should have.
You know what? Bloodshot was alright. It was fine. I think I paid $5 for that, like a matinee. It was fine.
Yeah, it was a matinee for me too.
Yeah.
I left that was like, okay, that was decent.
Yep. That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how this deal is going to work and how it's going to affect movies going forward, because right now we know that there's if you think about it, and this shows you how the movie watching experience has changed, and the business of movies has changed. For 3 weeks, that's where you make a bulk of your money. You know, that first initial week, everybody's like, the opening week it made this much money. And then there's like anywhere between a 50 to 70% drop off from your first week's amount of money to your second and third week amount of money, especially with blockbusters. Very rarely does a movie hold and stay at a continuous pace unless it's an indie movie. So that 17-day window is something you're going to... Universal's like, we don't care later on because we make most of our money in those first 3 weeks. So we're willing to break you off some. So...
Right.
But I guess it goes back to how movie watching has changed, and I bring that up is because, do you remember how long Avatar was in movie theaters? You see what I'm saying?
Don't remind me about Avatar.
But what I'm saying is, think about that. That wasn't too long ago, where Avatar stayed in the movie theater for weeks, months.
Yeah, months.
Same Titanic. We have changed how movies have, based on our watching habits. So I don't know if that's going to change. Once the pandemic subsides, people start talking about a vaccine, things start opening more. Will people start going to movies more often? Or will there be this apprehension to go back and sit amongst people? Or are people going to miss that camaraderie, being around each other? We're going to start seeing record attendance. My question is, how does this affect? Because your blockbusters, there are going to be movies that people have to see in a movie theater. I get that. How does this affect a movie like Hustlers, Crazy Rich Asians? You see what I'm saying? Like the movies that are word of mouth, uncut gems that you go to see, or Us, or Get Out, those lower tier movies that makes that money consistently. You know, that 12 million that keeps making that millions of dollars, and people keep going to go see it.
Going back to Ryan Porter, you talked about people going to the movies. Ryan Porter says, if you plan on going back to the movie theaters, then you must be in line for that vaccine too. No for me. And then, side note, Balanced Book Owl, have you guys checked out Umbrella Academy Season 2? Balanced Book Owl, I am on episode 8 of Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You off work.
Yeah, I'm on work. So I'm on Umbrella Academy. I'm really loving it. We will have a review whenever Leroy can watch it because he had to work, so he hasn't been able to see as much as me. So we'll get to a review eventually, but I should be done with Umbrella Academy either tonight or early tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Going back to the to the vaccine.
Yeah.
They keep talking about vaccines, but we're not going to know if they're effective until probably next year.
Oh yeah.
Really.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's going to be a while before we get vaccines. I think more businesses are going to be open and running before we're in a world where a vaccine exists.
Oh yeah. I guess my question is, once, let's say a year from now, 2 years from now, are we still going to be in this Universal deal, an AMC deal? In other words, is it just for them right now and everybody makes this deal for like 6 months or a year? They do this deal for a year or so, and then movie theaters are like, we need to renegotiate this deal because, you know, Artemis Fowl 2 stayed in the movie theaters for 9 weeks.
Nobody's watching Artemis Fowl.
I bring it up because
there's no 2.
I bring it up because I don't know. But
nobody watched Artemis Fowl, and the people that did not like it. And they said it wasn't a good representation of the book. So yeah, nobody's watched Artemis Fowl.
So I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, what does this go forward? What does this look like going forward? Because this segues into the next conversation we talk about Emmys. If you think about the quality of the movies versus the quality of television over the last 5 years, who's got better? What has been better? Movies?
Or
television?
You always say we're in the golden era of television.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like television has, I don't know what show it was. We're like, oh yeah, this is great, and then everything else is coming out. But it definitely seems like there are more and more shows now that are prestigious and award contenders for television than there were in the past. Definitely.
And that's why I said, like, going forward, it looked like, I'll say this. I hadn't talked to my wife about it yet, and she might show up and say something. I want to see Tenet. I am a Nolan fan. I don't know how I'm going to go see that movie yet. Does that make any sense? Like, I don't know if I honestly thought about it for the last couple of days after the press conference we had with our governor, and I was wondering, how much would it cost to rent a movie theater out if they're operating at 25% capacity?
Like rent it just for yourself?
Just like me. Like, let's say we got together. It was me, you, Lauren, and like 6 people. And we like, yo, Tenet comes out on Thursday. We all called out. How much does it cost to rent this movie theater? Buy all the tickets, because you can only seat 25% of this theater. So how much does it cost to rent out a movie theater? I'm seriously thinking about that, because
that will be an experience.
I mean, I want to see that movie, but there's only a handful of movies I would do that for. Dune, Top Gun, and Tenet.
2 of those movies have been pushed back.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what's the date for Dune?
Dune has not. No, they said anything about Dune.
Okay, gotcha.
So it was supposed to come out in October or November, I think. But we seen is stills from Vanity Fair when Annie Leibovitz was on set. That's the only thing we've seen. We hadn't seen anything since then.
Because we thought there was a rumor that a trailer was coming, but that never happened.
Yep,
right?
there was a rumor that was supposed to drop that week or sometime close to when those pictures, Vanity Fair pictures came out, and there was this rumor about a trailer, and then the pandemic hit, and it was like, yeah, let's ease up on that.
Right.
I guess that's what I'm looking and I'm saying, is it even worth it for them to put a movie out this year? Like, there's some movies that are coming out this year no matter what. But honestly, is it worth it for you to bring your movie out if you can only fill up a theater at 25 or 50% capacity?
Yeah, like, and it's interesting. I would say no, it's not worth it. But to me, the crazier thing is, what does this do for movies? And it really only affects Disney and Marvel Studios because their movies are so interconnected now. And we've saw over 10 years how it was great to follow a plot line from Iron Man all the way to Endgame. You kind of feel like those movies still need to come out in that same order based on whoever the script was. So I would say for sure those movies probably can't come out.
And don't
until
forget,
they can make them up.
those shows got pushed back too. Remember, Captain America and Winter Soldier got pushed back. And those TV shows are directly interconnect now with those movies. Scarlet Witch directly impacts Doctor Strange. So if the show gets pushed back, your movie moves off its release date.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's all interconnected for sure. But going back to these Emmys things, what exactly about the Emmys did you want to talk about? About what the nominations were, or
what the nominations were, and what does it mean for those of us who are nerd fans? Because I think this has been a big year, considering that The Watchmen had the most Emmys for any show, most Emmy nominations. But guess who had the most? What network had the most overall?
Netflix.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so what does this mean going forward? Because it almost seems, if you look at some of the genre shows that got recognized, The Watchmen got recognized, The Mandalorian got recognized, and I'm one of those people who I like all things Star Wars. Was The Mandalorian that good? Or are they trying to reach a broader audience by including The Mandalorian with the nominations? What do you think?
My question for that is, what's the time period cutoff for this? Do we know?
No.
You know, like from like this date to this date. Do we know what it is? And chat, if you all in the chat know, let us know too, because I would be curious about that. Because my first thought was, this is really great for stuff like Watchmen and all that nerd stuff. Yeah. But at the same time, are people going to have the asterisks next to these Emmys because, oh, this was the year with coronavirus, so a lot of shows didn't get to be released. So it was easier for them to get a wider audience because that was the only things that people were watching.
Well, I think the cutoff is sometime around the end of the year, because everything that was on this list was stuff that ended
from last year.
Because you don't see The Outsider on there. You don't see. You saw Silicon. So what is it? Silicon Valley season 5? Is that the final season? That
I'm not sure.
Schitt's Creek. A lot of these. So you saw like the final seasons of these shows nominated, and that was all last year. So So I think the next Emmy nomination is the one that's going to be like the asterisk. I think this year, this past year was the one that everybody was like, because I'm be honest with you, I was shocked when they were like The Mandalorian. I was like, yeah, for production, a lot of that stuff, and then I was like, wait a minute, what? And
I like The Mandalorian. It ain't the best show of acting. It's not.
Well, but I guess
I think it's a fun show.
But I guess that's my question: is it really for the acting, or was it the product? Like, are they trying to branch out? Like, I admit, I love the fact that The Watchmen got as many Emmy nominations, but is that because of the time that we're in, the social unrest that's going on, and how they were ahead of all of this? And you see what I'm saying? Like, is it one of those things where they were like, somebody watched The Watchmen and they were like, then they turned on the TV and they saw all these protests and they were like, oh, I need to nominate this. And you see what I'm saying? Like, was the acting...
What we gotta figure out is when the deadlines for things are, right?
Yeah.
Because they were announced recently, but maybe judging... Do we know that judging didn't end like in March or something?
And see that...
Because judging already happened in March, then none of this Black Lives Matter stuff had an effect on it, really.
True.
So, I mean, that's something we need to know. I'm curious about that.
You're right.
When judging over for all that kind of stuff.
You're right. Some of the things that I noticed that did get nominated that I thought was interesting was Damien Estrada mentions Stranger Things didn't happen. Stranger Things got some noms. Phoebe Waller-Bridge left Killing Eve, but that still got nominations.
As it should.
Now,
you still haven't caught up with that.
I haven't caught up. What I'm saying is, even with a show like that losing its showrunner, it's still going strong enough that those performances still were able to impact the voters to say, you lost your muse, but you guys are still trucking along. Because it's
she left after season 1 though as a showrunner.
That's what I'm saying. So like, I thought she left after season 2.
She might have done some episodes, but I don't think she was the showrunner for season 2.
But we know when a show loses its showrunner, Walking Dead, there's a big gap between the quality of the show from season to season. When you lose those people, like I said, I think one of those things is I think genre television is getting some looks. But I'm wondering, is it because they're trying to appeal to a broader audience, or is our stuff getting better? Because The Expanse wasn't on there, and I think
has The Expanse ever been?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're looking at something as quality, the acting, and the woman who plays Avrasel, I can't even say her name. The Iranian woman.
I know you're talking about.
Christian.
Uh-huh.
She should be nominated every year. So, but I guess that's what I'm saying. Like,
well then, who would you kick out?
But that's my point. I don't know. And then that's where I say, is there need to be some restriction with the Emmys like the Oscars? Because I think this was a great year for some of this stuff. Succession got 18 nominations, I believe. HBO is still kicking. I mean, just having people with a giant sword, like HBO is still here, but Netflix is. I mean, with the amount of nominations they had, it's just. And also with the lack of nominations from network television. I think think about what got nominated from network television. The Good Place. Can you name anything else?
I'm going through. That's why I'm kind of quiet, because I'm going through the nominations now just to see. I mean, What We Do in the Shadows, but again, that's not like a major. That's FX. That's not like an NBC or ABC or something. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all. Yeah.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, with movies changing dramatically, you're also seeing a dramatic change in how television is made and what is prestigious television. Joe Ellis brings up The Watchmen got nominated because it was a great show. The show also taught people about history that's not taught in schools. I mean, you're exactly right. The show was amazing, but also I remember, and you guys remember because we did a review. If you watched it, where people were kind of crapping on it for a while, and people were like, "Oh, it's not that great," or "Look, it didn't have the Game of Thrones numbers," and it had a nice, decent run, but it wasn't. You're right, it wasn't Game of Thrones numbers, but it was still a great show throughout the entire season. Michael, you talked about when we watched it. You were like, some of the episodes, you were like, yeah, I need some answers to these questions. Ray Sean K brings up, I'm not the biggest fan of Ozark, but his wife loves it. I'm trying to see what else. I think it's interesting that Disney Plus got some nominations.
What else did it get nominated for besides Mandalorian? Was it just Mandalorian or anything else?
I think that was it. But I'm trying to think. Did Imaginarium get nominated? I think that one did too.
What's Imaginarium?
Whatever the thing about the park.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I think that did. I don't have the list is here on the computer, but if I go to it, you'll disappear. I didn't think that through. Should have brought my laptop. Another thing that I thought was interesting was, and this is where I think some of the judging happens this year, because guess what else got 10 nominations?
What?
Quibi.
Good for Quibi.
Quibi got 10 nominations for shorts. Reno 911 and Christoph Waltz for Most Dangerous Game.
Now, all the nominations, are they in what? They're like in short?
Yeah.
Like what's the categories?
Yeah, shorts.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, it's not like Reno 911 was up against Schitt's Creek. Yeah, it's not like that. They're in their own little category. But Quibi made it. And that's why I was like, I'm with you. I want to know when this stuff was submitted to critics and when that is. But it's interesting that Quibi, even with all its troubles, was recognized by is it the Academy?
Yeah, I wonder, is Quibi doing well? Do we know? I mean, we don't have the numbers. So.
They lost...
Oh.
They lost a dramatic amount of people after the initial trial. But that's...
I don't know if the Kevin Hart thing is Die Hard is any good or not. I know that's like the next biggest thing I think I've heard about Quibi is Kevin Hart's little show. So, I don't know.
I'm a little tired of Kevin Hart. Friend of the show. I'm just... you know what? I know what it is. I watched something because I wanted to see if it really was that bad or if I was just hard on it. Went back and watched Hobbs and Shaw. And...
You know, I love my Fast and Furious. Hobbs and Shaw it's rough.
I went back and watched it. And it's a little unfair to it because before I watched Hobbs and Shaw, I wanted to see like the difference between genre action movies and, buddy cops. I watched Indiana Jones, the first one. First. And then I waited a couple of weeks and then I watched Hobbs and Shaw and I was like, even with all the special effects, even with some of the best action stars of this generation, it still pales in comparison to how good Indiana Jones was. The first one.
You mean in terms of what? In terms of story or in terms of...
Story, story, structure, fights. The difference between Indiana Jones and I think with Hobbs and Shaw, and I'm getting off the subject, but Indiana Jones got punched in the face. He didn't win every fight.
Yeah.
And when I watched Hobbs and Shaw, it was, I'm cooler than you. There was never any jeopardy involved with either of these characters. Like I never...
Well, yeah.
And
we talked about it with our review where we said that's why I think I brought up Jackie Chan and I was saying watching Hobbs and Shaw made me I'd already liked Jackie Chan movies, but I respected him even more just because he gets hurt in his movies. Like literally you see it after the credits when he's always in something, but also in the movie itself, in the lore of the movie, he always gets hurt. So I mean, you feel for those characters. Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw, they're in no danger.
And I think that goes back to the point we were talking about was the difference between television and movies is that television is able to tell a longer story. I'm not going to say that it's better, but they're able to tell a longer story and develop these characters. And I think we're seeing it a little bit more in some of our genre television that you're able to take a property like The Watchmen, turn it into a limited series, and it's up against Miss America. A limited series with Cate Blanchett and Rose Byrne, and you're like, those are the two that are competing against each other. A comic book property going up against the women's movement from the 60s and 70s with Gloria Steinem. You'd have told me 5-10 years ago that was something I'd get you committed, but that's where we are right now.
Sure.
Going back reading some of these comments. let's see. Zayla Naru, I haven't watched any Quibi yet. Zayla Naru, neither have I. Did Peacock get nominated? Vania Estrada? Not to my knowledge. The only thing Peacock has original is Brave New World, Interrogation with David Schwimmer, and something else. They don't have a lot of original programming yet on there.
And to be fair, like, I know for a fact Peacock wouldn't have been in the nomination category when stuff was submitted.
Yeah. They probably
Peacock just came out in July.
Yeah.
So
July 25th?
Something like that. So yeah, they would.
No, not the 25th. Whenever the Olympics are supposed to be on.
Yeah, I don't think they would have had time to even submit anything for Emmy nominations. Oh, speaking of Peacock, I did see the second Psych movie.
Yeah.
If you like Psych, you'll like the second Psych movie. It's really good.
That's the other thing that was on there. That was big. Psych.
Yeah, Psych 2. Lassie Come Home. That was fantastic.
Brian Porter says the Baby Yoda show is not good to me. Give me Expanse all day. Ryan Porter, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people love Baby Yoda. And then there is a group of people who are like Michael said, The Mandalorian's okay. It's not great television. It's just good. And it's Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And also, is it good because some of the last couple of things that came out did not meet the mark of Star Wars fans? Solo, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker was not received very well by fans, and The Mandalorian was. So there's that. Why would people say if a show doesn't have Game of Thrones numbers, it isn't good? But The Wire never got Game of Thrones numbers, but is a better series. Bond Miller, thanks for joining us. I agree with you. I have every season of The Wire. I have the original book from David Simon. The stories that The Wire is based on. I made Lauren rewatch it. I try to watch that show every 2 to 3 years. I followed everybody's career from the Wire. I agree with you. However, Game of Thrones made HBO a lot of money, and ever since then, and Game of Thrones didn't have Game of Thrones numbers in the first 2 seasons?
Maybe the first season. I feel like it was pretty big by season 2.
I don't think
it got bigger every year. But
it got bigger, but remember, they didn't start getting real Game of Thrones money until season 3 or 4, because they didn't have a lot of that dragon money. Because remember, they couldn't do a lot of big battles. They couldn't show the dragons like they wanted to. That's why they kept stuff small. Brian Gamer said, I watched 3 seasons of The Expanse. Rayshawn K says, that's why I like the John Wick movies. Pretty much everything about Hobbs and Shaw was terrible. Not going to disagree with you on that.
But you know what? I can't wait for Hobbs and Shaw 2.
I can.
That's fine.
Hey, watch this.
I'll see Hobbs and Shaw 2 all day.
When AMC and Universal make that deal, that's a VO on demand.
Probably.
And even then, I'm gonna make sure I have a code so I get a discount on it. That ain't nope. You won't get me again. Nope.
K. John J says we need some WD-40 for that door. Hey man, it's an old building, you know.
And we're downstairs.
Yeah, we're downstairs. Stuff squeaks. We in an old building. It is what it is.
Brian Gamer. That's how movies used to be. Die Hard was the first time the hero regularly got his ass whooped. If you go back and watch a lot of those old 80s, 70s action movies, the guys weren't like super buff. They like got into real fights. Go back and watch some of Stallone's old movies. You saw dudes get into real fights. Like now, it's just, I have to agree with you. Television does, to me, a better job. Back to the Emmy conversation. What was nominated that shocked you, and what was not nominated that you felt like was a snub? Because you watch a little bit more television than I do.
I mean, I'm happy that Good Place got nominated, so that's all I need.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed The Good Place. I said it was one of my favorite TV shows
of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, of all time. So I mean, to me, I'm happy Good Place got nominated, and I can't think of anything else that would have.
Silicon Valley missed the mark, and I know you watched that. I
actually stopped after season 3.
Really?
Yeah, after I was like, because it was the same issue. It's an issue that a lot of TV shows have, where there's a central problem or conceit, and then they just recycle it for the next season and kind of change it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always the same issue where Thomas Middleditch's character was kind of a jerk and an a-hole a little bit, or maybe not even a-hole, but just very neurotic, and he would always get the group into issues, and then they would solve it again or find a way to fix out of it. I kind of got tired of that, so I don't know what happened with Silicon Valley after season.
It's interesting that you said that, but that's exactly what It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is about. The hijinks they always get into.
Somehow, I like that.
Yeah.
I don't think they figured out the secret sauce for them, because I agree it's kind of like that too, but I like it when they do it for some reason.
I'm trying to think. For me, what did get nominated, I've always said The Expanse. I thought that was at least should have got nominated. There are shows that I liked. Umbrella Academy, I felt like another one that probably I felt like should have gotten some kind of consideration. The first season. Man,
Pogo looked really good. The ape, Pogo, like he looked real. He looked good. Like, maybe not on the same scale as Planet of the Apes, but I mean it was nice.
I like The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it deserved a nomination, and see that's another thing too when it comes to criteria. There may be things that I like, but that doesn't mean it deserves a nomination. Like I liked The Witcher. However, I don't think it deserved a nomination. I think it got exactly what it deserved. A second season, a spinoff.
Just give me that song over and over. That's all I need.
Like I said, I'm not sure if it deserves a nomination just because I like it. But I do believe The Expanse, I feel like, and I'm not sure if it's because it's genre television and it's not as highbrow, but I think that kind of show, same thing with Star Trek. I think those shows deserve more consideration, and I think that's why a lot of people love the Clone Wars, because it was Star Wars, it was genre, but it transcended its genre to move into the idea that this is not just for geeky nerds.
Right.
It was for anybody could watch it and enjoy it, and I think that's one of the things that it won 2 daytime Emmys and all the awards that it got. I think that's another reason why I was so shocked to see The Mandalorian get nominated. I'd like to see if the last season of Clone Wars gets nominated. And I know a lot of people like Rebels, but Rebels never reached the heights that Clone Wars did as far as popularity, in my eyes. I could be wrong. The chat could prove me wrong.
Looking ahead, we can keep talking about the Emmys, but looking ahead, I'm curious what the Oscars are going to look like, the nominations for Oscars.
Somebody asked that. I'm trying to go back.
Because, I mean, there's a good chance Bad Boys for Life is going to get some type of Oscar nomination.
What about this year's
Oscars? The fact that it's not many movies that come out.
Yeah, Ray Sean K asked that. What about this year's Oscars? It's probably going to be in a competition with a handful of stuff like Palm Springs, whatever Russell Crowe's doing in this Angry White Dude movie.
What movie is it? I don't know that movie.
He plays basically some lady honks her horn at him. He's driving a pickup truck or something.
He snaps?
Yeah, and he follows her home and starts terrorizing the family. It's like I said, it's this. I don't know. Ray Sean K asked, and I have no idea what the Oscars going to do. And I'll be honest with you, the Oscars don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I honestly think what the Oscars needs to do is stop allowing. The Oscars needs to change its entire setup and actually have a group of people who only watch this category. Like if you're in the Academy, you get slotted into, you're in charge of documentary. You have to watch these documentaries and you have to take notes and you submit, you're in charge of Best Actress. These are the ones, and that's who's in charge, and the Oscars need to go to I don't say 5-year, maybe 5. They need to be the Oscars need to be like the Olympics. Every 4 years or every 3 years, this is the best, so that we don't end up with Crash. Or we don't end up with Shakespeare in Love over Saving Private Ryan. I'm sorry. I'm calling it. I'm pointing fingers.
Why would the 3 years make that not happen?
Because I think a lot of times people nominate stuff and it catches on. It gets like, because you know that these are planned campaigns where they're manipulative. They try to get, Harvey Weinstein was the best at it. That's why Miramax was so good, because he knew how. If you did a Miramax movie and you worked with Harvey Weinstein, he was going to do whatever it took to get your movie nominated. Mm-hmm. It's being a prisoner of the moment, and we can look back, like go back and look at when you look at the Oscars and you look back and you're like, how did that win? How did that win? You see what I'm saying? You have a sense of, let's calm down. Let's actually look at the movie critically and say, is this a better movie than this? Like, what is it? Life is Beautiful with Roberto Fellini. Is that when it won over, was it Goodfellas?
I don't know Oscar history.
I'm trying to remember, but yeah. There are certain movies when the Oscars comes out and you're like, you mentioned, Michael, La La Land. When that was like, and you were like, it was okay. But remember,
it didn't win Best Picture, so that was good for me.
But remember the buzz about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And I think give a little bit of cooling off period. And I think you can give certain movies might get a chance, because if you're released at a certain time period, you don't get mentioned. Lupita Nyong'o in Us, the fact that she didn't get mentioned in the Oscar race is because, one, it's a horror movie and it was released at the beginning of the year. Let that movie have been released in October or November, I guarantee you they would have been Oscar talk for her.
When did Get Out release?
Early in the year. It was a February release.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So then that doesn't prove your point.
No, but that Get Out got nominated for screenplay.
Yeah.
But nobody got nominated for an actor in that movie.
But I mean, it got buzz, and it was early release.
It got buzz because it was a new hot thing. It was this new shiny toy. And Get Out still holds up. I think Lupita's role still holds up. Even if you go back and watch and you realize she played two different people. Mm-hmm. But why was she not considered? A lot of it has to do with that Oscar campaign and where that money goes toward. And we have seen countless times genre, and that's why I said the Emmys is different, because we're seeing more genre actors and actresses being nominated, more shows being nominated. But we still haven't cracked that when it comes to movies. You're going to tell me The Irishman deserved more of an Academy Award nomination over Endgame?
Well, you know what? I'm glad it didn't win anything. That was fantastic.
But that's what
that was kind of justice.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what we're up against. And the early Oscar nom was around The Irishman. It hadn't even come out yet, and everybody was just fawning over it because it was who was in it. But when you go back and look at The Irishman, you're like, okay, this is decent, but they still look old.
They really do look, because even when they aged him down, it was still a 70-year-old man moving around.
Dude.
So he'd still walk. It was
Bradley
weird.
Cooper, believable as a talking raccoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you not nominate a movie like Endgame for special effects? But you
was nominated for special effects.
But was it?
Yeah, it was. And it lost to, what was the war movie, 1913?
1917.
Yeah, everybody, I guess that would make more sense. Yeah, it was, that's what won. And everybody's like, that's what won?
Yeah.
And I guess people were like, it was the fact that it didn't seem like there were special effects.
And see that, and I guess I think another thing too, they need to demystify how judging is done. Stop trying to make it seem like this whole insider thing, and basically show your work. It's like math. Show me how you got here. Because I'm sorry, I like Suicide Squad. There's no way in hell Suicide Squad should have been nominated for hair and makeup over Star Trek Beyond.
They won, right?
Yep.
They win? Yeah, Suicide Squad is an Oscar winner, baby.
Yep.
Love it. That's so wild. That is crazy.
Yeah, think about that for a second. Let that marinate.
Jai Courtney can say, "Yeah, I'm part of an Oscar-winning movie."
I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it needs to be. Maybe it needs to be like the Olympics, where and maybe this will change it because you're right. I don't know what the Oscars are going to do. I don't think they know what they're going to do because I know they don't want to give Bad Boys for Life an Oscar.
Man, but I kind of wanted to though.
I'm telling you right now, with the way the Oscars is going, Bloodshot's gonna get an Oscar.
Oh, jeez.
The Hunt could get an Oscar. Trolls 2. These are your Oscars.
Yeah. I think they did change it a little bit in terms of when movies have to be released for the consideration for this year's Oscars. But yeah, it's still without movies like Tenet or Mulan or Black Widow or all these other big summer tentpole movies coming out. Yeah.
Yep. Like I said, it's and Kim from Chicago. Yes, stunts. Definitely Oscars. Tom Cruise may never win an Oscar for acting, but he definitely deserves one for being his own stuntman.
Yeah, I don't know how that man isn't dead yet.
Him and Jackie Chan. Tom Cruise and Jackie Chan need to be like an American Ninja Warrior. Because I don't believe there's anything.
Jackie Chan actually has his own award show. Honoring stunts. I think that's right.
I wouldn't be surprised. Tom Cruise. Because stunts definitely needs to be recognized. I'm trying to remember, because something about The Irishman was nominated, and people were mad that John Wick 3. What was it?
Good day.
Something. I like The Irishman. I like it. I'm not trying to bash Martin Scorsese, but I just feel like
I didn't finish The Irishman.
I just felt like all the fawning over that film was unnecessary. When you looked at what was going on in the film versus some of these other films and some of the work that went into it, I'm not saying that John Wick by any stretch of the imagination, story-wise, is up there with some of these other films. But you can't tell me the fight choreography, the stunt work, the lighting, the action sequences doesn't deserve some type of recognition from the Academy.
Yeah.
There's just no way. You can't tell me that. And I think those things need to be recognized. And the Emmys seem to be doing a good job of doing that. I just feel like the Oscars need to change as times have changed and kind of get on board with that. Stop letting these old people from back in the 50s vote on stuff just because they didn't like the fact that Eddie Murphy did SNL. And told people to go watch his Netflix movie. What? People do that all the time, campaign. You just didn't like Eddie Murphy. So that's why I stand on like that. Somebody said Jim Carrey, best supporting actor, Sonic.
I still haven't seen Sonic. I heard it was decent, so I need to, I guess, get that from a Redbox or something for like $1.
Ray Sean K asked, is anybody playing Ghost of Tsushima? Ray Sean K, not yet. I'm still playing Outer Worlds. Michael, what are you playing?
Oh, that's how you recognize the background.
I told you that. I was playing it.
No, I don't pay attention to half of what you say. I'm playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. That game is really fun and very low key, low stakes. Not a lot going on. You're on a deserted island trying to better it with your talking animal friends. You're catching bugs and fishing and chopping trees and getting some rocks. It's very low key. You can't really. I mean, there's a way to cheat the system and move it forward, but
the time, right?
It is a game that wants you to play a few hours at a time and then put it away and come to it the next day. I've enjoyed it so far. Now, granted, I've only had it for 4 days, but it's nice.
Cool. Is that what got you through the week? I mean, you've been off, so you probably ain't been stressed.
That and more Bollywood movies, Indian cinema movies.
Okay.
I've just been going into a deep Netflix well with that. I watched a movie called Kucha Kucha Hota Hai. Great movie. 1998 rom-com Indian cinema flick. A lot of fun. That's about it for me. And I picked up. I bought it a while ago, but I hadn't played it recently. I hadn't played it until recently. Civilization 6 on the Switch.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. So I've been doing that. That's what I've been doing. What about you?
I've been playing Outer Worlds. I finished Gears of War 5. Didn't like how it ended.
Oh, you didn't like the ending.
I did and didn't. I don't want to spoil it for people, but I did. I liked part of it. I didn't like how it ended abruptly. There was no.
Oh yeah.
There was no culmination or no what happens next, that kind of thing. Like it was just very broy.
Yeah, and the game director left, so I don't know what's gonna happen for Gear 6.
Yeah, so that was, but I did enjoy it. I think I'll be honest with you. I think Gears 5 might be my favorite.
I can see that.
Even with everything, Gears 5 is still my favorite.
Yeah.
As much as I bash Xbox, and I'm really enjoying Game Pass, because I'm playing Outer Worlds, and I would have bought Outer Worlds. I would have. I still might, but I'm playing.
So I'm telling you, man, Xbox don't care about your system. Just get that Game Pass.
I understand that, however, for somebody who's looking to upgrade to a new system, sell me the system. But we already talked about that. Y'all want to see those comments? I'm liking Game Pass, and I'm really liking Outer Worlds. And Outer Worlds, how do I say this? Bethesda, watch your back, because Obsidian, man, if Obsidian can do this,
yeah,
I'm telling you right now, give those people, like what they're doing with Outer Worlds is what we wanted from Mass Effect, Andromeda. If you like Mass Effect, and what you wanted in Andromeda is what you're getting in Outer Worlds.
You remember that was nominated for Game of the Year.
It was.
The Video Game Awards.
It was.
Yeah.
It was, and it's funny because I'm playing these two games on an Xbox, and I can see why they were nominated for Game of the Year. Up there with Death Stranding, up there with Control, Resident Evil 2. I will say this. Playing Obsidian's Outer Worlds gives me hope for Avowed. Because Avowed?
Yeah, Avowed.
When we saw the Microsoft game, whatever, whatever the showcase was, I can't remember what it was.
The game, I think it was just called Xbox Game Showcase.
Whatever it was. I saw that and I was like, this is getting me hype. But I was like, I need to see how it plays. And then I went back and watched it again. And then I put 2 and 2 together. Because at first I didn't put 2 and 2 together that Obsidian, the studio that did Outer Worlds, is doing this. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And then I did, and I was like, oh, they're doing an RPG game? First person? I'm in. And so that's one of those things where I was like, Ken from Chicago? Yes. Exactly. Outer Worlds is what everybody wanted Fallout 76 to be. Basically, Outer Worlds is what everybody wanted Fallout to be. It's a little shorter.
O'Keefe Robinson, I am excited about the spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. Yeah, bring it on. I really enjoyed Man and Dreamcast. Jet Set Radio, that was my game for sure.
D. Steezer says, Leroy's complimenting something Xbox related? What sort of madness is this? Like I said, I love Game Pass. I do. I really do. I still need Xbox to bring their A game. I feel like they haven't, but I'm be honest with you, Game Pass has a lot to be proud of. It's been getting me through the week, with all this new pandemic crazy numbers, whether or not we all go die, then asteroids come in, murder hornets, meth gators.
Did you ever play Secret of Evermore or Secret of Mana?
No.
RPGs on
I have watched people play that, but I've never played it myself.
Okay, there's a game called Crosscode that's on Xbox Game Pass. I just downloaded that, and it kind of harkens back to those old 16-bit RPGs. It's a lot of fun. That the premise is you're part of this. You're an avatar in an MMO, and something goes wrong in the MMO, and you got to figure out what's going on. But it's pretty good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I also got through the week. I've been watching movies with my kid because he's up late at night when I come home. I watched Man of Steel again, and once again renewed my love for the great Henry Cavill. Not like not like I didn't fall out of love with Henry Cavill, but it renewed it renewed our bromance. It really did.
Okay.
I watched it with my kid, and I know he doesn't understand what's going on as he sits there as I hold him, but watching him watch the TV when Henry Cavill's talking to Russell Crowe, and I'm watching, it's like I got this feeling like I can't explain it, but I was like, yeah, he likes Henry Cavill.
You can tell he likes
Yes, I can tell.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of so I went back and watched the Lego movie. We watched Solo. I'm basically going through now, going to go watch from Solo. We're going to watch the rest of the trilogy because I finally finished Clone Wars, watch Solo, go watch Rogue One, go through the original trilogy, and then I'll go through the last three. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing this week. So that's it, guys. I think we
yeah.
I think that's it. We're gonna try to do a review on Umbrella Academy, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not gonna rush through it because I love Umbrella Academy and I enjoyed watching just 2 episodes a day. So we might probably get one up next week, maybe by Friday. I'll try to finish it, but there's no guarantee. I'm telling y'all right now, next week's gonna be rough for us. There's a tropical storm, icy ISIS.
Isn't it a hurricane now?
You just told me it wasn't a hurricane earlier.
No, what I said was it hasn't hit our shore yet.
No,
you said it wasn't a hurricane.
You said it wasn't a hurricane. Go back and watch, guys. Go back and watch the beginning of this, guys. I bet you Chick-fil-A, he said it wasn't a hurricane.
Okay, cool.
All right. Next week's going to be a little rough. This is because they're going to talk about schools are going back into session, and we got weather, and woo! So, I'm going to send my thoughts and prayers to you guys as you send it to us. Because next week going to be rough.
You want me to say bye to these people while you sign us out?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right. Much love to Brian Gamer, IMAX, Ryan Porter, CB Hunts, Zayla Maru, Rayshawn K, Ryan Gilliam, Boundless Book Out, Pejan J. Who else? D. Steezel, IMAX. Might have said that one already. You probably did.
Our governor called the hurricane Icy ISIS, so that's how I'm going to call it from now on in our press conference.
Damon Estrada, Kevin Holden, Joe Ellis, Von Miller, Pejan J, if I didn't say that one already, O'Keefe Robinson, and I feel like that might be Ken from Chicago, E. Starkey, Antoine Allen.
Yep. You said Pejan J?
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.